Hello, my name is Casey Dale and I'm from Spearfish, South Dakota. I made an app called Realized Accumulated Wireless Radiation. The app allows its users to visualize the radiation coming from our phones, computers, and cell towers. Radio frequencies are the signals that computers, phones, and other wireless devices use to send data and sense the environment. They are invisible and often hard to detect. Recently, in 2021, there was a circuit court decision about wireless safety standards involving the Federal Communications Commission. The court ruled the FCC's safety standards were inadequate because the Commission couldn't explain the reasoning behind them. When you take out the industry-funded studies, nearly 7 out of 10 indicate that there is a serious safety concern regarding wireless, and I wanted to write an app that would help someone keep track of how much RF they had absorbed. I emailed some scientists in the field, Dr. Louis Lesson, Dr. Paul Heroux, Dr. Joel Moskowitz, and Dr. Henry Lay. From their responses, it was clear that it is no easy matter to calculate absorption and damage from wireless energy. I realized, though, that I could calculate simple cumulative exposure that could then be used by future researchers and scientists to derive and test absorption formulas. To do this, I'd need to conduct a few tests with an RF meter. We have a GQ EMF 390 RF meter that I used for my tests. It measures and logs wireless exposure in milliwatts per meter squared. I used a few wireless devices to test streaming a show, uploading a file, doing a video chat, going live on Facebook, and talking on the phone. We were surprised to find that the RF levels when streaming were relatively low compared to a phone call. This is because holding the device very close causes much greater exposure than holding the device far away. When I finished taking my measurements, we downloaded the data samples from the device. The app iterates through the data and adds up the realized accumulated wireless radiation, or RAWR. The white bar is the RAWR for the dataset as a percentage of the possible accumulated exposure at the current safety standard for the dataset. The possible exposure at the current standard is based on a temporary variable that we expect to change as the FCC adjusts the safety standards surrounding RF exposure. If the bar is in the green, it means that the accumulated exposure was lower. If it's in the red, it was higher. This simple visualization can help a person adjust their exposure to reduce the risk of negative health effects, especially for children. The app is written in JavaScript. It holds data samples and HTML elements where it is retrieved by my code then processed. After the app processes the data, it creates an HTML element to display the result on a bar graph along with some metadata. In the code, there is a variable called max exposure per second. This represents the changing safety standard. At the top of the app, you can input a number for this variable and it will redraw the bar graphs to represent the new standard. Thank you for considering my app.